Yo, there we are. Yeah, man. Live with Trigg Gusset. What's up, guys? You guys good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I get a whoop whoop? Yeah. Okay, so this is going to be the interview in English, or like the first one, because you guys did a couple of interviews in Dutch, I believe.
Yeah.
And that was cool, but since most people that listen to your music are not Dutch, I figured like it'd be a cool thing to do an English interview. And since there was nobody else but me to do it, then you still stuck with me. So, hi.
Hi.
Okay, so here's my first question. It's kind of like a stupid question, but let's start off with it. How old are you guys, and where are you from?
Okay, you go first, Eric.
Yeah. I just turned 38. I'm from Delft in the Netherlands, of course. But I a couple of years ago. Sorry.
Are you born in Delft?
No, I'm born near Delft. I'm actually born closest to where Bart lives now.
Okay.
In Pijnacker, it says on my ID.
Okay.
But now I live a bit more south in a small farmhouse where I have all the room and space and quietness to play music and no neighbors.
Know what you mean? Yeah, it looks good.
I also have no neighbors because my studio is built in the garden. But referring to your question, what my age is, I'm already 42 years old, but I look quite younger.
Yeah, man, I would say like 23. What's up with that? You got Botox or something?
Yeah, I think that's something with Trigg Gusset, because actually I got asked for an ID. I think it was 2 years ago, most recently, when I bought some.
Mm-hmm. Seriously.
Yeah, seriously.
And they ask you for your ID. Wow, man, shit.
They stopped asking that way back to me. But
that's good, man. It's good to be old, right? I mean, you're not old, but I mean, we're all old. Is what I'm saying. Okay, so the next question will be: when did you guys first start seriously practicing an instrument, and which instrument was it? And I mean, seriously practicing, like like at least like an hour a day or something.
Mm.
I never practiced an hour a day. To be honest, no. No, for me, well, I played some instruments when I was a kid, but I started off seriously with music was with electronic music and creating stuff with trackers and all kind of old sequencing programs in MS-DOS and stuff like that.
Wow.
And later on, I started to play more instruments and mainly keys and piano in my case. And I had some jazz piano lessons, and but to be honest, that never really worked in my case. And what I think I learned the most from jamming with other musicians, and that's something where I met Erik. We met during jam sessions in Delft.
Okay.
And yes, we could like jam for hours, and I could still do that, and all kinds of genres. And I think that's, you learn so much by jamming, and just playing along and listening and find the good note and improve your skills. And so
no practice, no metronome, nothing.
Well, yeah, I think practicing for me nowadays is when I write my own pieces, mostly on piano, and I want to play them like I hear them in my head, but my head is always much faster than my hands, so then I need to work
practice,
to
like...
get the ring, and I play no, and then I practice just as long
like on spot,
till I can finally play it. But I think from the two of us, Erik is more the musician, and I'm a bit more the producer.
Depends on what you call a musician, of course. I mean, with all the music you hear in your head, I think that's part of being a musician. But I agree that jamming is a very important way to learn how to play music. But of course, you need a basic set of skills before you start jamming, because otherwise it would be just a mess.
People will
Be
pissed off.
fun, but not to listen to.
Yeah. Okay, but so you did what age did you start playing?
I started when I was 8 years old. I actually wanted to start on the saxophone, but and I got lessons 100 meters off where Bart lives now. That's where I learned how to play clarinet. Because they told me my fingers were too small by the time.
Yeah, that's a big thing for saxophone playing.
Well, I'm not sure, but I mean, you don't have to fill up.
They were wrong anyway.
All right.
Yeah.
That, I mean,
No, they were not wrong, because they said you just start clarinet, and then later on you can move to saxophone. That's the way to do it. At the time, of course, I was mad because I wanted to play saxophone.
Like, what's this clarinet doing here?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I started anyway, and I started liking it, and now I still play clarinet. Also, on the Trigg Gusset albums, I play, of course, the bass clarinet.
Yeah, exactly.
But I also play just like a B flat clarinet. I'm not sure it's called that way in English, but like a regular clarinet.
Okay, yeah, like the regular, yeah.
Yeah, and well, I practically never stopped practicing from the moment I start. Of course, you have some times that you practice less, but like you see many kids when they go into high school, they stop playing an instrument or they switch over to guitar.
That's what happened with me. Yeah.
Yeah, I think of many guitar players. And then sometimes the worst guitar player gets to play the bass in the band because they have too many guitar players. But
yeah, that also happened to me. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So now I used to be the bass player. Then in the end, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways. Dominic, who's also on the album, he started also that way. He started guitar, and he was the worst guitar player, so he started playing bass.
And they're like, "Okay, you play the bass, man."
Yeah. And then he got into a band with me, and I said, "Oh, you should start playing double bass. It's much better." And then he's finally switched over, and now he plays in really big stations. Well, he played in Ziggo Dome, I think, and all around
he played
Europe.
on Trigg Gusset record.
Of course.
Yeah, that's like the greatest thing.
Most important.
Yeah, I think we have to combine that. Like playing in Ziggo Dome with Trigg Gusset would be very nice.
Yeah, that would be the next step then. Yeah. Okay, so you still practice? Like, how many hours do you practice?
At the moment, not that much, because it just a month ago I became father, so I have to find a new routine. But before that, well, not too much actually. I think it's most important is that you practice frequently, like mostly every day.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly, because you can better like play 20 minutes each day or something than like 1 hour and then 2 weeks nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You need to keep it fresh. Yeah. So yeah, that's one of the questions I also had is about the kids. So like you just became a father, Erik. Congratulations on that.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, congratulations, right? So how are you guys managing with the kids and the music? Is that like how does that work? Just tell me about it. I'd like to know.
Yeah, tell me, Bart. You're the expert.
Oh, I'm the expert. Well, I think you have less time for music, but because you have less time, you spend it better. In my case, at least.
Mm-hmm.
But when I didn't have kids, I would like maybe more experiment or just more or slack more. And I was like, okay, I have a few hours in the studio. Okay, let's get on with it. Let's do this. Let's finish it. Let's work on new stuff. So I think my production rate is not really less than when I didn't have kids.
Okay.
So I think for that, but That's my personal experience.
So you'd say it's like a positive thing?
No, not necessarily positive in all cases.
Like a positive influence, I mean, yeah.
But no, I think you have less time. But there are still ideas in my head, and there are still things I have to work on. So it's more like, okay, for instance, now it's when the kids are asleep. Normally, I would now work on the track.
So you're like, I want to get this interview over with, man. I want to dive.
Yeah, let's get it over with.
Okay, let me cross some stuff off.
Next question, Garrett.
Exactly.
Garrett.
A fun fact about my daughter, actually, because she was born with like 6 hours of Trigg Gusset, maybe even more.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
You played the LP the whole time. That's crazy, man.
Well, it was not even my idea. It was.
It was your wife's idea. She was like, "Come on, man, he needs to like."
Yeah. She likes flamenco music. She had a complete list of flamenco music. I want to hear this when I'm birthing. But then she started and said, "No, I need something relaxing. Put on Trigg Gusset," and then we never put it off.
That's the best thing you can do with Trigg Gusset. Never put it off.
Yeah. No, that's cool, man. That's really cool. Shit. Okay, yeah. Let's see what it does to the kid, right? Okay, so which artist do you both consider to be like a really big inspiration on your being a musician? Like through the years, might also be like a long time ago, like Dire Straits. I don't know, like some old shit.
I've been inspired by old shit, man. There you go.
Oh, I go. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think. For Trigg Gusset, when I mean Erik and I we met in this bar and we played all kind of music, and then in this dark jazz, which this genre where we started our corporation. Boren und der Klap of Gore was the main inspiration at the beginning, at least, and that was our common inspiration for this project, at least for the first album. Okay. And I think if I beyond that, I think we have a different background, and I
mean, like when you were like
for me, inspiration, it's like. From Radiohead till Miles Davis, still the Beatles, still to Ebon Tobin, like very diverse.
Okay, right. So there wasn't like one musician where you were like, I want to be like that guy. He's
no, certainly not. I want to be like myself.
Okay.
Sounds maybe a bit arrogant, but I really think one should you should be. You can learn a lot from other musicians, but. If I would like to be Bill Evans or something, I would never be as good as him. I would never be as good as a pianist as him. And I think at some point you need to say, okay, what are my skills, and what can I improve on? And because I played like also clarinet and guitar in the past, and at some point I said, okay, that's not my that. My skills are not in those areas, so let's focus on the stuff I'm good at, and let's work on that to make it better.
Okay. Have you, Erik, you got any like musical heroes from the past, like?
I got lots of them actually. No, there are so many great musicians. And then you have periods where you listen to one kind of music and then you think, this artist, I really like his playing. And there's for me there's of course a lot of old jazz saxophone players like Ben Webster, for instance, for his sound. But also, I had a period where I listened to klezmer music, and then I thought Gjora Weidman was a really good player. He still is, of course. And I
But
listened
got out of the
to,
spotlight then
I
happened.
listened and played in funk bands, and I went to concerts of Parliament Funkadelic, and with Bart, of course, all the dark jazz, but also Jagga Jazzist and Matthias Eyck and those styles, and so if you mix it all together, it's quite a mix, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And how did you guys meet? Oh, well, we kind of got that. You were playing like together in the
tango.
Yeah.
Right. So it wasn't before that. You didn't like hook up and go there. It's like you met right in the spot. Like you were like, hey, who's that saxophone player? And he was like, hey, who's that piano player?
It was a very it was a good time because I met a lot of musicians over there. I think we both met musicians over there, and a lot of guys played on our last album, on all our albums, but also from the way in. Both the double bass players, one of the drummers. We all met each other in those days in the tango in Delft.
All right.
And yeah, it's not that we see each other that much anymore, but we still keep in touch, and we still like to make music, and that's it was a really good time, at least for me. I think for Eric as well.
Yeah, for me too. That was for me. It was a time where I played almost every day. I played somewhere, like with someone in a room, or having to perform somewhere, having a gig, or indeed doing a jam session. There were a couple of jam sessions, and I could go like to 3 jam sessions in a week, and most of the weeks I did so.
Yeah.
That's luxury.
And,
So
but that particular jam session had a special vibe. Like I wouldn't be surprised if we met playing. Like I'm not really good at introducing myself while I'm playing, so it might very well be that I just started playing when
I think that's how we met. I don't even remember, but I'm sure it was because I was playing probably piano or percussion back then, and you were doing saxophone or clarinet, but most probably saxophone. And the music brought us together, so that's nice.
It sounds like a cool place, man.
Yeah, it was.
So, you've been talking about the guest musicians. Can you maybe give us a short walkthrough of the guest musicians on the way in? And do they have any solo projects that people need to go check out?
Well, Eric already talked about
Dominic,
one of the bass players.
He's in a real big Irish folk band, Dutch Irish folk.
Dutch Irish folk, right?
Yeah.
It's completely different. Harmony Glen. It's called Harmony Glen.
Yeah.
But we have Koen Hameling, the trumpet player, who plays a big role in Trigg Gusset. Not only with his playing, but also feedback on tracks, and he has become really a big part of the group. He has his own project called Call of the Yellowbird, which is like a bit of world funk, very nice. And he also plays in the Amsterdam Funk Orchestra, which is also really cool. So he's doing, and I think which other guest musicians? Yeah, we have Marcel van As, who plays drums in Spinvis. Pretty famous Dutch group, or what do I say?
Yeah, this artist it's artist, right? Is that a group?
No, live, it's one guy, but when they play live, it's like a band.
All right,
something like that. And do you know Eric? He just plays in L'Chaim, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the other bass player.
Yeah, and I think he did have a rock band as well, but only for playing in some underground, not to mention bars. Like.
Yeah.
All right.
We have Jure Mecking. plays guitar, but I think only on one track on the last album. He plays more on our new work, which is coming up. He also has more like a Dutch. It's funny because when I mention all these musicians, that they all have so many different kind of styles, and it's not like we're all funk,
YouTube
or we're all
channel, right?
We're all jazz, or we're all. It's everybody has their own complete different music styles where they working in. It's funny.
And Jurgen also has this YouTube channel on which he like displays the or you guys like.
Yeah, we have our soundscape. Jurgen and me do. We have our soundscape. It's Jurgen making. It's YouTube channel, and you can find me and him and play Pink Floyd psychedelic stuff cool. For 20 minutes or something. But it's cool. It's cool. He's a very versatile musician. Who else do we have on the record?
Jort, I think.
Yeah, Jort, but I think Jort is mainly become drum just because he likes to play drums once in a while, but he doesn't have any other projects at the moment, I think.
No, it's too bad.
Which is a shame because he's really
good.
Yeah, some amazing drumming on the album, man. It's like seriously freaky. Yeah.
Yeah, if he's live, he's also very tight and very.
Yeah, we had a live band. We performed with a live band with Erik, Koen, Jort, and Just, and me, of course. With the five of us, we had some gigs. Of course, with the last album, when we thought about going live again, then the whole COVID-19 stuff happened to all of us, and so we skipped our touring plans.
So there's nothing live, like except for like the YouTube stuff, like playing a part together things. But that's the only live thing.
Oh yeah, that's me and Jurgen. I was just talking now with Trigg Gusset live.
Yeah, exactly. So that's not happening in future.
No, like it's not happening right now. I think it doesn't make sense at this point to work on plans for touring because no one knows when this is.
When we can play again.
Yeah.
Okay, and so next question is, where is your main listener base located geographically? Yeah, you check that out.
I can find that out because I have
exactly.
If I look at the Spotify artist.
So while you're at there, like the next question would be, how many listeners do you currently have, and how did you get to this level? So maybe we can like combine the two questions.
Yeah, how did we do that?
How did that happen? That's like how much is it? Like seriously, a high number. It's like.
Yeah, but I think it's not because I don't have any numbers of all. You have people buying our vinyl, or buying our CDs, people listening on Spotify, people listening on iTunes or just locally. So these streaming figures are not the whole number, I guess. If you understand what I mean.
Yeah, that's a percentage, pretty much.
Yeah, it's a percentage, yeah. So let's see our main listeners. I think we have lots of listeners. Let's see where they are. Recent. Gender, you want to know gender of our listeners?
Yeah, just give me everything, man. I'm interested.
No, yeah, we're well. Okay, we need to work on our female listeners because 75% of our listeners is male currently.
It's not too bad. I thought it was worse.
Well, 3% is not specified, so I'm not sure what that is.
So what gender are you? I'm not sure. Like.
And well, most guys are around their 30.
So it's like us, pretty much.
Yeah, maybe I'm a bit older now. And we have lots of United States, Russia, United Kingdom.
We bring people together. we bring them together.
yeah, we bring the world together. No, it's
man, you're crossing borders. Seriously.
No, it's like this is a bit where we I don't know if this is visible to you guys.
Yeah, it is, but the seriously the zoom the blur is.
Okay, now whatever. Anyway,
no, not working. But it
Yeah,
looked
but
good.
I think it's what I like about it, and what I also see in the vinyl sales we have of the last album. It's people coming from everywhere. It's Spain, it's Kazakhstan, it's the UK, it's the
China.
US,
Mexico. Yeah.
and Poland, Germany.
Yeah.
It's and I like it that it's our music is going places.
Yeah, man. Just today I mailed it to Berlin. That's always a good thing, mailing it to Berlin and that's gonna go to a nice place.
Yeah.
So thanks, Jerome, for the order, man. Cool. Okay, and how many listeners? What's your current monthly listener rate on Spotify?
It's like 5K, something like that. 5-6K.
That's good, man. Yeah. Sweet. You guys are famous. I'm honored to be here and ask you questions, man. It's really weird. Okay, so next question is more like directed at the recording session setup. How do you guys prepare for like a combined recording session? Are you still like doing combined recording sessions, or is like Erik recording at his house now and you kind of like, how does that work?
No, it works better if I come to Bart's studio. Not only because he has better equipment, but mainly because then we work together well. Like if I play at home, then I don't get feedback immediately, and then I think, oh, this sounds alright, and just send it. And when we play together, then I play first take, and Bart says, "Oh yeah, sounds good, but maybe try a bit more like fluid in the end or whatever." And then I can improve on the first take, and it's much quicker than. And you're in the moment, you're like working, and because if you do that while I'm at home, then I get the next day you could play something like this, but I already forgot what I played. So
and how do you get into it? Like, so you come at his house and then you can like have beer or like watching football, and then I don't know
No, we just drink water and we start recording.
Yeah.
So he like gets in there, you unpack the saxophone and he's like, "Wrap, here's a mic."
No, mostly there's already a concept, and I think what Erik says is really true, and it goes also sometimes I write a melody for a team or some basic melody for a track, and then Erik has ideas about it, and then together we find a way to get this melody as good as it can be. And then of course there's the solo part which Erik referred to earlier, where he plays just a solo, and I maybe give some, maybe a bit like this, a bit more that, and then
maybe go up a little bit and do a weirdy thing up in the top, or
and I think it's good to not do too many takes. You have to get in the spirit of the track. You have to know what the chord scheme is and what the feel is, and then give everything you have, and not try too much. And for most tracks, I think we may do 3 or 4 solos max.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. Maybe sometimes even 2. And
when
I think it's good, then I make a note in the project, and like, okay, this is good, and then we have a short break, and we continue to the next track.
Then did it ever happen that like you recorded something and you were like, that's exactly what I wanted, but it doesn't work altogether, so fuck it, do something else? Or are you always like on point? Like,
no, not always, but that's logical, Sometimes it doesn't work what you think, and sometimes I don't know. It's just you're just trying things out, and sometimes Erik plays stuff which I couldn't imagine he would do, and it's like, whoa, this is becoming these tracks which I thought like, maybe this track we should skip it, and it suddenly becomes the best track for the next album. Things can change.
Like, don't stop, man. Come on, keep playing. Keep playing.
and then afterwards it's like then Erik goes home, and then I have this this bunch of audio material, and then
Right. So that's the next question. Once you're done recording, what's like the next step? Like what's on your list? Like Erik packs his stuff up, close the door, and you're like, okay, now I need to go do what?
Yeah, then okay, yeah, then it's first you sometimes it depends on what other instruments are recorded in the track or what needs to be done. But regarding to saxophone or bass clarinet, it's just first selecting the best takes, just without EQing or without doing anything else, just selecting what sounds the best. And sometimes I make combinations of different solo elements he played, then there's the first solo from first part from take 1, and then take 2 another, combine it all together. It's like a puzzle, and then
But you always do that on the same day, though? Is that like something you?
No,
right.
no, because
it takes hours.
Yeah, it takes hours, and because our recording sessions are mostly pretty long and intensive. So after that, I'm doing nothing. So it's like another day, or the next week,
right.
or maybe even the next month. Sometimes it takes time, and then but then it's like a puzzle, and it's always rewarding if at some point you get, okay, this might work, and then I sent the first concept back to Erik, put it in the Dropbox, and he can listen to it, and
He's like, no, completely wrong. We need to turn this thing around.
That's not my usual reaction.
I've had that a couple of times, actually.
It's quite good already.
Cool. All right. Okay, Bart, can you give us a short overview of the setup? I'm not sure if, can you check if you can put that blur off, maybe? Is that like an option? Does it have like an option screen somewhere?
Let me see.
Maybe if you turn around the camera, it doesn't happen. Can that be?
Let me see. What's this?
Bart is also a perfectionist, so that's why he's better at selecting tracks and making it even better.
So I disabled the.
Yeah, nice.
Sweet, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, this is my studio, and there's okay. Let me see if I can change the camera. Yes, I can do that.
Sweet.
It's better.
Much better.
Hey.
Yeah. Wow.
So this is the workstation.
Ableton Live, yeah.
Yeah, Ableton Live. There's already a new Trigg Gusset track is opened at this point. Yeah. What?
Oh, you're teasing people now, man.
yeah, but we do have lots of new stuff coming up. It's true. And I do have a lot of equipment, which is some great synthesizers, some effect processors. This is a great mic, a ribbon mic, which I bought early last year. We used this for the recording of the last album, for all saxophones, trumpets, piano parts.
Cool. That's like a
weird. Well, what else? Yeah, some drum stuff, percussion stuff. Here's my Fender Rhodes, also used very much in Trigg Gusset. And here's the stock we have left from the last record. CDs, vinyl. Well, yeah, that's a very quick tour around.
Let's say what is your three main, like the three most important pieces of equipment? Like, what's your sound card? You got like, what's that? Army Hammerfall?
No, it's a pretty old school one, but it still functions great. It's a Fireface 800.
Okay.
RME. Yeah, that's the central unit of the studio. And well, what's important, I think, for regarding Trigg Gusset, I think like the Fender Rhodes is elementary, and and the computer.
Okay.
Yeah. It may not be the most sexy one, but all the editing stuff is happening there, and the mixing is also happening over there.
Nice. Yeah, looking good. Seriously.
Yeah, looking sweet.
So let's
Gets me warm.
my head back into the picture. Yes.
Okay, this question, which you pretty much answered already in regard to Erik as well, but like also with the guest musicians, how does that work? Do you like write the pieces they play, or like for example with the bass lines? Was my do you like have like little bass line lined up and you're like, hey guy, there it is?
Yeah, what I think what always works best with that kind of stuff, if you already have some kind of basic baseline, which you think, okay, this is something which you can work on, and then on most bass players, they play those lines pretty easily, and then they add their own spice.
Exactly. Yeah.
And, yeah, what I always mostly do with like recording bass or drums as well is at least have like a basic take with not too many frills and not too many, just like basic steady take, and then at the end when that's already like, okay, now we do one take where you can like do everything you want.
I freak out.
And then do every fills to like do like, and then I select a sample from that take and put stuff and then change it and something like that.
All right. Bart, you're like a producer. You didn't like. You've got a lot of projects in the past already. Can you tell me some stuff about like the stuff you did in the past, like the Bartois album, for example, or like
well,
you did this thing with,
yeah.
like.
I rather talk about the future, but I think, okay, you asked the
Just a little. I mean, yeah, like the fun, like the crazy stuff.
Well, okay, now for people listening to this interview and they want to hear what I've done in the past, they can go to Trigg.nl, TRIGG.nl. This is a site I recently updated where all my stuff from the past is located, and I put lots of stuff on Spotify as well. So you can read and hear about me over there. But yeah, I started, like I earlier said, I started as a more electronic dance producer in the 90s, in the end of the 90s. Lots of like breakbeat drum and bass stuff, and yeah,
You did some big gigs, right? Like, you did some big gigs on that.
well, yeah, we won like the big prize of the Netherlands, which is some with long players, and but that's like 1999. It's more than 20 years ago already. But yeah, I performed like in a lot of big venues in the Netherlands, and it was a really fun time. So yeah, I did a lot of dance stuff, and then from I think like 2003-04, I started to work more on other styles. I made some songs with guitarist, and recorded a solo piano album, which I'm not really, if I listen to that now, I was like, oh, that could be better, but I did it. You know?
That sounded like a lot of practice, by the way. That's why I started about the practice, because it sounded like, did you play those things? Did you seriously sit down and play every piece, or like?
Yeah. I think with acoustic piano, you have to play it like, you cannot sample it or cut different takes into one piece. You know, you have to just play it in one take, and then it has to be all right. So it was a big challenge for me. Yeah, I still record solo piano stuff, but I think for me, I rather do some piano chords and licks in a Trigg Gusset context. I think it works better for me.
Yeah, you spend a lot of time getting familiar with like a lot of instruments. Which instruments do you all master, you'd say, or like master, like do you feel comfortable on?
Yeah, I feel when I'm at home, I feel comfortable at many instruments, but yeah, when I'm doing gigs, I play mainly like clarinet and bass clarinet, several saxes. So I play soprano, alto, and tenor. I did play a bass saxophone.
Mm-hmm.
It's also on the second album of Trigg Gusset, but
the last track, Primrose Path. There's a bass sax. It's like
that's a huge thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh wait, like one of these seriously big things that you have to stand next to. These like that you can't, that you have to you got these seriously big saxophones.
Well, we had the recording session with bass sax. We had two other guys holding the saxophone.
Yeah.
Okay, so like a bunch of saxophones, and like your main thing is like the tenor saxophone, yeah?
Yeah, but I also play a bit of flute, which is also on one of the tracks I think on the second album.
Okay.
Yeah.
And at home I also play like piano and record stuff on the synthesizer because it's quite easy to record. But I also play a bit of guitar, a bit of percussion, like just anything that makes sounds practically.
Like a tuba.
Yeah, actually, I did have a trombone for a year in my home, and I tried to practice it. I could get sound out of it, but it's really hard to make
like
it sound
way
good.
of playing, yeah, than a reed instrument, yeah. You have to kind of like press your lips together and go like kind of weird.
Yeah. I can make the sound, but it takes years before it sounds good.
All right.
Yeah, about the flute, it's nice because you played flute on the track Promenade from our second album, and that's the only track where I played guitar.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a unique track, you know. It starts with a guitar lick, which I play, and you play flute. I think that's the only track for where we play those instruments.
It's a cool track, by the way. I listen to that a lot.
Yeah.
It's in my playlist.
Yeah.
Okay, so what made you decide like the tenor saxophone is your favorite? Like.
Well, I've got two favorites because I play clarinet a lot as well. In Trigg Gusset, it just doesn't fit as good as a tenor saxophone or a bass clarinet.
No.
But I also play with a flamenco guitar player who's also featuring on one of our tracks, two of our tracks in the second album.
Okay.
And then we play jazz standards, and that's where I play clarinets. And yeah, I just like and for the saxophone, I just like the sound of a tenor. It's broader.
I was playing alto, like I played alto for like 6 years, 7 years, something like that. And I really didn't like the sound. It's like so kind of like it doesn't really matter what you do. I always kind of go like it's like
Yeah, if you play alto, I think you have to play fun, like Maceo Parker, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
And
we also, I think you also played alto saxophone in like 2 Trigg Gusset tracks, but only in a big brass arrangement where we have 5 layers of.
Yeah, that works. Of course, that works.
Yeah.
But like a solo thing is always kind of like.
Yeah.
But I started also on a tenor. I never started on the alto.
Yeah, if you play low, it's okay, but also you always get this kind of like Cindy, what's her name? Like the Dutch.
Kenny Dolfer.
Kenny Dolfer, yeah, exactly. You always get this.
She's a really good player, but.
She's definitely a good player. I'm not saying anything against Kenny, but it's kind of like the sound is kind of like, it's like.
That's not this Candy, guys. Okay.
No, but it's funny because the one alto I have is a straight alto, so it's not a conventional thing. It's a really old instrument.
Yeah. Also, I'm still kind of like want to get a soprano sax. Like I like that. Like it's the high sound, like the.
Yeah, it is really nice. I have one soprano. It's a Selmer 6. It's really like the best of the best, but it's small.
It's featured on one of the new Trigg Gusset unreleased tracks. There's a soprano featured.
Yeah, it is. But I went to the shop and I didn't have an intention to buy an instrument, and then but I came there to just fix my tenor, and he said, "Hey, just wait an hour." And I thought, yeah, what am I going to do in an hour? So I said, "Yeah, just give me an instrument to play, and I just play." I thought, oh, this sounds good. I don't think I can get it better than this one. I want to take it home. So then I got a soprano.
Cool. Okay. We're almost there. I got 4 questions left. So, do you have any serious do's and don'ts for aspiring artists? So, if like people are watching now, like they're like 20, doing like HKU or some shit, I don't know, like music school, and they're like, I want to be like Trigg Gusset, man, and you like, whatever you guys do, don't do this, but do that. You know, like what would that be?
Yeah, I don't know how. Yeah, mostly you fall into cliches with these kind of questions, but
Yeah.
no, but I think the most important thing is, for me at least, with Trigg Gusset, yeah, we just do what we feel like, and we may have started this as a more doom jazz project, especially the first album, but now yeah, we just do what we feel like without trying to be something we're not. And then I think that's one of the most important thing. And I think if you're younger, and especially in more electronic music, yeah, you want to fit in. You want to be a part of a certain genre or certain crowd. And I think it's not necessarily bad but yeah, just follow your own path, man. Follow your own ideas, and
but you mentioned like it helped you to get there where you are right now. So like, would you say like to aspiring artists they should like kind of hook into that, or like rather leave it alone?
I think I had several. I also tried with other genres to fit in, and I how do I say it in English? I had ideas which I then formed and changed so they would fit into a certain box, and therefore I just removed the soul from it, and I worked on music where I listen to it now, and I was like, okay, there's an idea in this track which is good, but I tried too much to fit it in, and it didn't work. It just cost me a lot of time, and it didn't work. Well, maybe a bit fake what I'm telling, but I think
no, it's not fake at all. I mean, it's like very open, I think. So
maybe Erik has some other kind of advice.
Yeah, I'm more of a like playing an instrument. I think often musicians forget to listening to themselves and listening to others, and that's why going to jam sessions is always a good idea, because you have to listen to others and to yourself and to what you're playing, and to consider if what you're playing actually adds something valuable.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really worthy doing.
Okay.
Like, listening is very important.
I totally agree on this.
Good. Yeah. One of my saxophone class lessons was go stand in the corner and play a note for a minute and listen to yourself while you're playing. That was like, yeah, that was harsh, man. Like the first time I did it, I was like, oh, that sounds so bad. Like,
that sounds like torture, man.
You have an alto saxophone. Go stand in the corner and play as loud as you can.
Right now.
Yeah, but I also practice. Like I had a very good teacher, and he taught me how. When I got there, I had a really lousy sound. Like it sounded like in Dutch we say like cardboard.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave me a couple of tips, and one of them was, play against the wall, so you get the reflection of your sound, and then you can hear what you're actually playing. Because if you play a wind instrument, the sound gets away from you.
Yeah.
And if you play against a wall, then you can hear what you're playing, and that makes you listening better. And you actually can hear what changes in the sound if you change your embouchure or something. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Are there any artists with whom you'd like to collaborate in the future, like the next 5 years? Are there like people you would like? It'd be really nice to do like track with that guy. Anybody? I mean, like doesn't necessarily need to be realistic. Or I don't know. Maybe I cannot judge what's realistic at all. I mean, just saying anybody.
Well, without saying too much, we do have for our next record, we have some collaborations with really great artists. We there's a violin player. I'm not saying his name already, but he's really good, and he plays one of our tracks, one of our new tracks. We also have other drummers playing along. I don't have personally. I don't have any names at this point, which I say, okay, this guy or that guy. But yeah, you meet people online. You see, you read things, and then sometimes you work on an idea, and it's like, okay, I need some kind of, maybe we could. We use a cello for a track, and then some cellist comes along and it works. I don't know. I don't have any name.
I would love to do this track with Yo-Yo Ma or something. Like
but maybe just the little Yo-Yo Ma. The next one.
All right.
The new generation Yo-Yo Ma.
Okay, about you, Erik, you got like anybody you'd like to invite? Now you have the occasion.
Yeah, it's really hard actually, because if you think of a name, then you're almost excluding anyone else, and
that's really considerative, man. That's good.
Yeah, I don't want to call one name, and because you need more musicians than one to play for.
So like whatever you want to do is track with Snarky Puppy or something like.
Yeah, might be. That's more in the right direction, like a whole band. No, I also think that if you play, then you just some names pop up when you're playing something, like, oh, this is something where he called a name which sounds good. It's not like oh, I want to play with him, and then you're trying to think of something that would fit well. So I think it's the other way around.
I think this is a very relevant point, because that's also with the two bass players or the two drummers we worked on with the last record. I really thought, like, okay, this part is something for this guy, and this part is more for that guy, and that could also work with musicians we haven't worked with right now. There may be an idea coming up where at some point you think, oh, but this is meant for this this guy or girl.
Player.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the idea should be leading, not the musician.
All right. Cool. All right. You guys have any new releases planned? I mean, that's kind of like, yeah, I know that you have, but
what we have worked on, because we couldn't do any live shows. We started to work on more material, so we are working on an album which is nearly finished, and besides that, and that's something which I can tell right now, is we're releasing an EP with some tracks which didn't make it to the new album or didn't make it to the previous album, but still great tracks, I think. And at the moment they're our mastering engineer from the UK is mastering them.
He's a really cool guy, by the way. What's his name again? Bob Mack?
Bob Mack, yeah. Bob Mack is a great guy. And
yeah, the sound is amazing, man. Like
yeah.
what
So
he does.
I wanted for this EP. I first thought, maybe I can do it myself, and then I thought, no, let's be at the same level as our album. So this EP, I think it will be released in November. And the album, I'm not sure yet, but
Ish? You got an ish date for me? Like,
early 2021, maybe.
and like on a like from my perspective as a like, is that like an LP release then, or is that like a digital release?
I don't know. Maybe only digital, but I'm not sure yet. We have to we have to talk about that. We haven't really spoken about that part yet. It's mostly about the music at this point. Is everything ready? Maybe some sound effects in this track or blah blah blah. That's the phase where we're in now. But that phase is almost over for the album. Yeah.
Cool. All right. And where do you see Trigg Gusset in 2 years? Is the last question. So like, what's your
Eric,
for?
Go ahead.
Well, still playing, of course. I still hope we can play like a live set. Which, this year is not a really good year for that.
No.
You could say that, yeah.
But I still hope we can do that and play in some really nice venues. And my dream is to play at North Sea Jazz, but
North Sea Jazz is sweet, man. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, or just a tour within Europe would be nice. Not like months, but that we get like a tour between. There are a lot of people from several countries already asked, come here, come there. Now maybe that would be great if we could do that in 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. All right. Then that's all I got. I'd say like people can ask questions in the comments maybe, and then you guys like have a regular checkup, see if anything's just because this is in the live stream, that's the best we could do.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks guys. That was really nice and very informative. I'm hoping people at home like it as well. And you be sure to buy Trigg Gusset's album. Like put it up there again, like that. And
yeah.
Oh wait. Oh, that's a little wrong. Whoops, like that. Yeah. You buy it and listen to it, enjoy it. A lot of people bought it, very happy about it. You could be too. So thanks, guys. And it could be you, exactly. It's like thanks, guys, and we'll see you next time. Maybe
Yeah. Thanks, Garrett, for your time.
Cheers. My pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.